Hi, my name's Stephanie, and welcome back to Ready and Rooted Homeschool. I am a mom to three kids. I have a 4-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a 4-month-old. And this year we are starting pre-K 4 with my 4-year-old. Last year we did pre-K 3. So if you are interested in the early elementary years of homeschooling and how that goes and things like that, be sure to check out the rest of my channel videos. We have curriculum that we are doing this year, what we did last year, things we liked, things we didn't like. All of those videos are up on this channel already, so be sure to go check them out. Today, I want to talk about goals that I am setting for our pre-K 4 year. So pre-K 3 year was just kind of like the loose test run of what I wanted to do in our homeschool. The pre-K 4 year is me taking things a little bit more seriously, a little bit more focused. I know a lot of people don't feel that formal education is necessary until kindergarten or first grade. However, I kind of am a little bit of a type A personality, and I also like to be organized, and I think it's important to still be educating our kids even when they're young. And yes, like play-based learning is important. We spend a lot of time playing. A lot of the activities that we do for school are fun. We do a lot of art projects and that kind of stuff, but I personally need the guidance of some level of a curriculum or some organization of our day to move forward in educating my child. When I didn't have anything, it just kind of was a free for all, and I wasn't sure what to do or how to guide. So that's where last year we started with the playing preschool curriculum, just to kind of give me a guidance. And I've really grown, I think, in how I educate my children and how I do things with my children. But we are ever evolving. So today I want to talk about the goals that I am setting going into this next year of homeschooling, specifically with my pre-K 4 student. I also, about halfway through the year, might start to do a little bit more formal stuff with my what will then be a 2.5-year-old. Obviously, nothing crazy, but just putting a little bit more attention on what she's doing for her artwork and making sure we're learning our colors appropriately, some numbers and some letters. She does tag along a lot with my 4-year-old, so she's already developed some of that because she just listens while she's playing and we're doing things. So, anyway, let's get into my goals for the 2026-2027 school year, which is my oldest daughter's pre-K 4 year. So goal number one for this 2026-2027 school year is going to be working on developing a more consistent and peaceful daily routine. So in previous years, because I was a little bit looser, we didn't have as much like educational requirements that I wanted my daughter to hit. Our days were very inconsistent. They were kind of all over the place. We didn't really develop. We have somewhat of a routine, but it kind of like just goes with the flow more. And I run on a schedule. I run on routine. I run on systems, and so do my kids. So very much like, for example, with bedtimes and morning routines, they run very well when they have a routine. So what I want to do going into this year is implement more of a routine when it comes to our homeschooling. At certain times of day, we do certain subjects. At other times of day, we do other subjects. But I also want it to feel less stressed and more like peaceful and steady. And I think if we have a consistent routine that we follow and don't vary from too much, that will help us all kind of feel more relaxed in the system. So, developing our rhythm, developing our routine, especially so that as we go into later years, when we do have more curriculum requirements that we need to meet, we already have those basic routines in place so that we know where we're going, when we're going, and how we're going to do it. So that's goal number one, is consistent routine and more of like a peaceful, calming routine. I don't want us to feel stressed every day that like we have this 10-minute window that we have to get something done in. I want it to be more of a go with the flow. I don't want to overbook us. I don't want to overschedule us. And that's what I found this last year is things always kind of got in the way, and then I was rushing to get something done, and I don't want to do that. I want to take it smooth. That's also partly why I year-round homeschool, so that we can take things a little bit slower if we need to. Goal number two, which comes in a lot because of how I want to school my children and why I want to homeschool my children in the first place, is I want to support their academic growth in a personalized way. So initially, when I was looking to homeschool my kids, I wanted very like rigorous curriculum and focus on everything and very intense. Now, looking back on that, I want to be a little bit more mindful of how my learner learns and catering the curriculum to them. That's part of the reason that I started homeschooling, was so that I could cater the curriculum and the learning style to my children so that they're not clumped in a big group like they would be in a traditional school. So, and I've learned that a little bit more as we went through our year this year, that certain things with my daughter don't work. Just rigid memorization, not for her. She likes to play a game. She likes to learn through having like fun and play, obviously. She does occasionally like a worksheet, but she likes things that are like very hands-on learning, not just like sitting there and listening. So we do a lot of like cutting and pasting. She loves that kind of work. She also loves drawing, coloring. So making sure that I'm bringing in enough of that stuff into our pre-K 4 year, and less focus on the rigid just sitting there across from you while I'm telling you something and you having to memorize it. So that's my plan going into this pre-K 4 year, is to focus on using and utilizing the things that work well for her. And also me working on when I see that we're starting to derail, she's not enjoying it, she's not having a good time, she's struggling to pick up a concept. It's okay to stop, do something else, and come back to it later. And so that kind of all comes into personalizing it and supporting her academic growth in the way that's helpful for her, not just what my brain thinks is going to be helpful. Number 3 is going to be to nurture emotional and social growth, as well as develop good character. So this year, pre-K 4 year, she's turning 4 years old in a couple weeks, and I really want to work on her social emotional growth and as well as her character growth. So she is a great child. She's fantastic. She is very sensitive. She is very sensitive to other people's emotions. She just takes everything in, and she has such a huge heart. And this year I really want to work on nurturing that, and then I also really want to work on developing more character in her, and a little bit more responsibility, um, a little bit more like habit training for her, because she is very sensitive and very emotional. Sometimes her emotions kind of just boil out and go a little over the top. So I want to work on some methods for her for reining that in and keeping her emotions under control, but still acknowledging that it's okay to be sensitive and it's okay to be a sensitive person. I am not a super sensitive person, so this is why it's one of my goals, is because I really do want to focus on nurturing that sensitive nature of hers, and finding the best ways to channel it. So that's one big thing for us, is just general character growth while they're younger, developing a good, respectful person and human, as well as nurturing the emotions in her that she personally thrives on. I don't know if you can hear that. It's currently thunderstorming. That's why my lighting is terrible today. But this is the moment that I have to record, so we're doing it. But yeah, so nurturing her natural tendencies and her natural what she feels, and figuring out the best way for her to express that, the best way for her to control her emotions, and developing good habits, good character, and just a positive overall human being, which is another part of why I think we homeschool to begin with, because I want to be there for my kids through developing their whole human, and I want to be the one who's developing those positive character traits in my kids. And number 4 is going to be prioritizing our physical health. So I am a physical therapist by trade. I also am a strength and conditioning coach. And I have spent the last 5 years roughly being pregnant or postpartum. So like in October, November, it'll be 5 years that I've been pregnant or postpartum. I had 3 kids back to back to back, 3 kids under 4. So it has been a tough go for my physical health. And as a fitness professional, it's hard on your body. Being pregnant and postpartum is very hard on your body. And I think there's a study now that came out that shows like 5 to 7 years is your true like postpartum period. And so obviously that is a long go, and I want to take that seriously. And then I also want to encourage my children to be physically healthy, and be aware of their physical body. My 4-year-old has some physical stuff going on. She's a toe walker. And so we're addressing that all. The bonus of being a physical therapist is I can help her address that, but I want that to be in the forefront of our homeschool, because as much as your homeschool is the academic things you learn, things that kids get at school is additional, sometimes recess. I know schools are taking that down a little bit, but PE, recess, team building, and all of those kind of things. So I really want to focus on making sure we are getting active in sports. So she's in gymnastics this year. We're going to do soccer this year. We're doing swim lessons right now. So I want to make sure those are all active. And then I also want to encourage general physical health. We need to be better at consistently doing her stretching for her toe walking at night, or at some point during the day. We also want to encourage just overall physical wellness, whether that's joining me in some of my workouts, or introducing like some movement breaks into our school day where maybe we put on a YouTube video and do some yoga, or something along those lines, just to encourage physical health. And then also for myself, because these goals, yes, they're for our homeschool, but they're also for me. I want to take this 2026, 2027 year, kind of like I'm setting my New Year's goals at the start of the school year. But I mean, that's what makes sense for us, I think. And so one of our goals, just as a family in general, is to work on our physical health. Go out for walks more, go out for hikes more, do more physically active things consistently, focus on our nutrition, and develop that as just our natural way of the family functioning. And what we want to do is encouraging physical well-being and health. So that is our 4 goals. So I know today was kind of a quick video, just rapid fire through those 4 goals for the year. But I hope you enjoyed. And if you have other goals for your homeschool year, please leave them in a comment down below, because I am not a great goal writer. I know these are not super measurable, and goals are supposed to be measurable and attainable and recordable. So whether or not they are or they aren't, I'm going to do my best to keep up with them. But yeah, so if you have other goals that you can think of for your homeschool that you're trying to achieve this year, leave them in a comment down below, because I love reflecting on other people's goals and seeing maybe how I can work them in. If this is also something you're interested in, let me know, and I can do maybe like halfway through the year, I'll follow up on how our homeschool goals are going for this year. My plan to help me keep track of these goals is just to start journaling at least monthly on how our homeschool is going, and I will do that on here. So in that, I may also check in on each of these goals every month as we go through how the homeschool year is going. That's another way I might keep track of them. So if you have any other ideas for me on keeping track of homeschool goals, or what homeschool goals you like and are planning on implementing for the year, again, leave them in a comment down below. So if you like this video, go check out some of my other videos on, we've done homeschool scheduling, how I'm planning out our year. I've done the curriculum that we're using this year, and then hits and misses from last year's school year. So please check out all my videos, subscribe, hit the thumbs up button, and I will see you in my next video.